These are two important things with which we'll start. This is organon, because I am an ardent teacher of organon, as rightly said. And that's why I want to go with it. So today's session, what we are going to learn. So while dealing with the patient of rheumatology, we must know rheumatological disorders as a disease in order to understand disease, pathogenesis, progress, and also for prognosis. And second, indications of the same disease in an individual, that is understanding the sick, the individualization. And this is what Hahnemann wants to teach you. So we'll start with the different cases. Well, first there are 5 cases. I will just put in front of you. Just read those cases. Just read it. Patients are there, I will say. So I don't expect homeopathic medicine, but I expect your approach to manage the case. So I will keep the 5 cases in front of you. After putting all those 5 cases, then we'll learn what rheumatological disorders are there. What are different approaches to go with those disorders. And at the end, again we'll open those cases and then you tell me answer how will what is your approach. Is it okay? Okay, we'll start with the first case. Read that. Is it readable? A 30-year man, case of acute post metatarsal joint swelling came to me with joint. Joint was showing all the signs of acute inflammation. Too painful to move and or walk. Patient was not allowing to examine the joint as it was very painful. It started since morning after sleep. Question is, what will be your approach? How will you go by it? Okay, this is first case. We'll go with second case. A 25 years female, a case of acute polyarthritis since 2 days, came to me. All small joints of the hands and feet of both sides were showing signs of acute inflammation. Joints were too painful to move. Patient was not allowing to examine joints. Patient had severe sore throat treated with allopathic medicines a week before. So what will be your approach? How will you go ahead? All cases, simple cases. Third one. A 14 years female, a case of chronic rheumatism since 10 years with pitch flexion deformities of the multiple joints of the hands. Pitch flexion deformities means what? Pitch flexion, this is like this. This never turns. There might be a jet deformity, there might be a swan neck deformity, there might be a pitch flexion deformity. She was not able to hold anything with the hands, not able to do any activity with them. Joints were painful, stiff in the morning, during winter. R factor strongly positive, ESR 110, HB1 8 gram. So what will be your approach? How will you go ahead? Okay, fourth. A 55 years male, a case of chronic rheumatism of left foot since 5 years with swelling of and on whenever he consumes pulses, legumes, sour things, farinaceous food. Joints were painful and stiff during the attack. R factor negative, ESR 45, HB11, serum uric acid 8 gram. So what will be your approach? How will you go ahead? And last case, a 70 years moon-faced female, a case of chronic knee pains with severe fracture since 15 years with difficulty in walking, climbing up and down stairs, posted for total knee replacement. TKR is total knee replacement. She was obese lady, 88 kg with hypertension, hypothyroidism, was on thyrox under density, and still her TSH was 55 units. R factor negative, ESR was 15, HB 10 gram, serum uric acid 4 gram. So, what will be your approach and how will you go ahead? My suggestion is that unless you diagnose what it is, you will not be able to manage this case perfectly. So, it is necessary to understand the first case. It has been said in homeopathy, wrongly said, diagnosis is not important in homeopathy. I am against that. This is half truth. What is the actual sentence? Actual sentence is that diagnosis is not important in homeopathy for prescription point of view. diagnosis is important in homeopathy for all other things, and it is needed. You decide what approach you have to use. It depends upon exactly what diagnosis is. And that's why I always tell my students to read Davidson book again and again, surgery book again and again. Because if you are damn sure about the diagnosis, you immediately think logically about what should be your approach. You must know the cancer before treating the cancer. If you know Duchenne muscular dystrophy, then you can treat the Duchenne muscular dystrophy. If you know what exactly avian is there, vascular necrosis of femoral head, then you can treat the avian. I have 350 cases of avian, a vascular necrosis of femoral head. I am damn sure that it is cured with homeopathy. I have ample cases of cancers, which in another seminar I will share with all of you, that treated with homeopathy even in last stages. But before that, I was knowing what I was treating. And for that purpose, we have to learn each and everything. So, rheumatology, what is rheumatology? First we'll start. Rheumatology deals with the heterogeneous group of disorders of connective tissues, joints and the bones. Rheumatology, clinical understanding. We learn what rheumatology is. First important thing, there are 3 types of rheumatic disorders. It is classified under 3 headings. First heading is inflammatory, second is metabolic, and third is degenerative. That's all. That is the first classification of the rheumatology. Under the inflammatory, you get commonly the rheumatoid arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis. There are many more, but at least we'll deal in today's session regarding this issue. Metabolic, everyone knows the gout. There are many more, but gout will decide or learn today gout. And third, the degenerative, we'll learn osteoarthritis and spondylosis in today's session. So basically, these are classified under these 3 headings. Now we'll learn. First we'll start with the inflammatory variety of the rheumatoid arthritis. See how many diseases are there under the inflammatory. There are rheumatoid arthritis, spondyloarthritis, juvenile chronic arthritis, infective and miscellaneous arthritis, systemic lupus erythematosus, progressive systemic sclerosis, polymyositis, and dermatomyositis, arteritis. Variety of disorders are there under the inflammatory variety. If you know all those disorders, then you can treat them. And homeopathy has a very, very clear goal in all varieties of diseases. Because we never deal with the name, we deal with the understanding of the miasm, we deal with the understanding of the constitution, we deal with that specific individual, and that's why there is no botheration what name is. Only thing is that what that disease is there, you must know it prior to prescribe. And for that purpose, I always ask everyone to learn this Davidson book again and again. I am telling you truth. When I was in final year of BHMS, right from the first page of Davidson to the last page of Davidson, I have read it 10 times. And 11 times when I was doing PG in Kakasai Maske in 2005, at that time 11 times. Because of which I am very clear about the clinical concepts. I am very clear and I am clinical homeopathy. I used to correlate. Today you will going to learn what I am going to teach you is the clinical homeopathy. And clinical homeopathy gives you a result-oriented homeopathy, which gives you the results in your practice if you are very thorough with the clinics. So today we have to learn all those things. Metabolic diseases, gout and controversial calcinosis, urogout, in degenerative osteoarthritis and spondyloarthritis. We'll start with the first differentiating factors. We'll differentiate what inflammatory is there, what metabolic is there, and what degenerative is there. First thing, in inflammatory, there is prior is inflammation, and inflammation follows the degeneration. So, inflammatory variety, this happens to be there in the second or third decade of the human life. Rheumatoid arthritis, second or third decade, age between 20 to 30. Rheumatoid arthritis, you can get a post-attack. It doesn't mean that before that it never happens, or it doesn't mean that after 30 it never develops, but maximum maximum age you can get, generally maximum cases between second and third decade. And there is sudden first attack of rheumatoid arthritis comes, patient becomes affected with acute rheumatoid arthritis. It recurs again and again because there is no treatment in allopathy. They used to give anti-inflammatories and if it never works, they give the steroids and continue with the patient. Or they go for investigation. They ask the patient to do ASO titer, they ask the patient to do CBC-ESR, they ask the patient to go for RA positive, RA test, all those things. But there is no weapon to fight against that. And that's why recurrent rheumatoid arthritis leads to early degeneration of the joint. So inflammation is followed by degeneration in cases of inflammatory body. Metabolic, the things are different. In metabolic, what happens? The metabolism is disturbed. Assimilation is disturbed. There might be a more protein intake inside the body, more uric acid develops because it is a degenerative products or thrown away waste products of the protein metabolism, and that's why uric acid is increased in your body. It gets remain inside the blood, gets deposited on the joint, producing a gout, or it might develop stones inside the gallbladder, or it might develop the stones inside the kidney. So that is deposition followed by an inflammation and then a degeneration. So first is the deposition in metabolic. So deposition is the cause behind the inflammation, and that inflammation is an acute inflammation. When it starts, it is an acute. Exactly opposite is there in the degenerative arthritis. Where a patient of osteoarthritis comes to you, it is a degenerative arthritis. It comes later phase. Patient comes to you in the osteoarthritis. Patient comes to you in later phases after 50 years, 60 years, 70 years. Patient comes and these joints are degenerated. Generally, the weight-bearing joints gets affected. Knees are supposed to affect. Hips, ankles, these are common joints which used to get affected over there. So degenerative, here degeneration is there. Because of degeneration, the meniscus gets degenerated. One bone glides over another bone, and because of direct movement of the bone, inflammation develops. So degeneration is followed by an inflammation in case of degenerative arthritis. So this is the basic difference between these three. Is it clear?